Hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey. The EU stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer Neil.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. And tonight we have SCP-3885, or Vulture Gulch. So, this one's by CadaverCommander, who we've talked about on the show before because they've done a bunch of like SCP entries that we've generally liked or found interesting. And we discovered that they had a series of stories focused around a character called Joey Fucknuts. And that title, like that, paint me intrigued. I wanted to see what these stories were all about, so I decided that we'd allocate a month of weeks to do the Joey Fucknuts stories. Well, it turns out as soon as you start up the first story, Joey Fucknuts builds a flying machine. As soon as you enter that, like the first word, Joey Fucknuts, is a hyperlink to an SCP entry, which is the actual SCP that he is affiliated with. So I figured it's like, all right, well, maybe we should do a week where we do an SCP entry. Like, we should actually cover that SCP entry before we go into the stories that are affiliated, because that's kind of a thing that we've always been interested in doing, is like having these SCPs and then having stories that accompany the SCPs, right? So
yeah.
We're going to cover the SCP 3885, and I guess as a connected 388501, which are the affiliated like sub entry inside of the entryception.
It's pretty.
Anyways,
standard. I don't know why you're making this sound like it's different.
I know. I'll shut up. I'm making this way too complicated. Anyways, yeah, we're doing SCP-3885. It's by CadaverCommander, and then for the next few weeks, we're going to be doing these stories that are affiliated with it about Joey Fucknuts. But let's dive into what this whole thing's about. So, SCP-3885 is a ghost town called Vulture Gulch, in the middle of the desert, more specifically, Maricopa County in Arizona. And that's in the United States of America, just for more specificity. Anyway, it is populated by SCP-3885-01, which are a small populace of living, desiccated, and mutated human bodies. They are metal as hell. And I mean, like, I don't mean like they're actually made of metal. I mean, they are like metalheads. Like they are like very like, that's so metal sort of thing. Because they're obsessed with building and modifying cars and trucks with all kinds of Mad Maxian like bullshit. And most of which explode due to their inexperience / lack of knowledge on actual engineering and mechanics.
The zombie people are also like immune to damage, basically.
Yeah, like they just walk
Pretty
off
much
explosions.
Yeah.
Like they're like they smash their cars together, massive explosion ensues, and they just walk out of the fireball. Their clothes falling off and like being destroyed in the process, but they're completely fine.
Mm.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure what the fuck did I write here? As from some initial raids to local township to grab cars. What? Sorry, I got grabber because
You're saying that they used to like go out away from the town to raid nearby other towns to take cars off of the people there.
Yeah, guys, should I keep this all in? Like, should I just like?
I mean, it's at your expense, so yes, leave it in.
Wow. Anyways, future me, you can use your judgment. What? Anyway, I'm gonna also add this part. So yeah, they used to have initial raids to like local townships to grab like the cars and parts and tools and such. But once they were given materials and a border that they couldn't cross by the Foundation, they seemed kind of content to just remain in Vulture Gulch and do their bullshit there. And even like seem to have like kind of a friendly relationship with the Foundation's security detail that's like keeping people away from the area and like also monitoring the situation.
Because they gave them cars to modify and shit.
Exactly, yeah. The Foundation has also sent in several surveillance drones, using stealth protocols, of course. Like apparently an active camouflage mechanism, which doesn't really seem that weird now that I think about like how much other weird bullshit the SCP Foundation has, like either monitoring or deploys.
Mm-hmm. It's just mirrors.
Yeah, it's just like active mirrors. It's like it's a bond. It's something from Q's lab.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, they have these drones that are there to like monitor like the strange community that's going on. Apart from like everyday dumbassery and construction projects and pyrotechnics, it has been observed that a boss figure is arriving shortly, or at least at some point in the future. Despite their non-hostile demeanor, the boss may have placed them here for a more kind of expansive role, or like a more like influential role across the nation or across the world, maybe. The investigation on the boss is and its identity and origin is still ongoing. So that's basically the rundown for this SCP. It's a small community in the desert of zombie gearheads, basically, or zombie car enthusiasts. I'm gonna touch on something here with everyone tolerates the Grammar Inquisitions at this point, because I actually have one for an SCP entry here. However, I came up with this one like not like 5 minutes before we started recording.
Nice.
Because, okay, can SCP entries please try to make their hyperlinks, like in their articles, a little bit more distinctive? This is probably a personal pet peeve or like a nitpick on my end, but I did not see the link to the first Joey Fucknut story in this article because like
bright red.
It looked like.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay.
All right, there, Joe Pesci.
When I first read through this, it was bright red. I clicked on it. I read that because I wasn't aware. And I came back to this. When I did that, because I've clicked on it, it is now a very dark red color, and it is now hard to see.
But like, I read this story and I was like actively looking for any kind of links, and I didn't notice any.
Okay.
And
what I'm trying to say is, have you potentially clicked on Joey Fucknuts before?
No.
Okay.
I think the issue was that he went to the first Joey Fucknuts originally, and then clicked on the link, which brought him to the SCP.
Yeah, I think
Did I not
Gamer just
say
said that?
I literally just said that.
Yeah.
The words just left my mouth. I was waiting for a response, and then you had to chime in.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing.
That might be the case, but at the same time, it still like irks me because like we've had this before where we're like, I actively have to search, like I actively make sure like there's no like links that I'm missing, and it's like this could just be resolved if there was just bolded or something.
An underline.
Yeah, like just have like exactly use the underline whenever you're doing that, so you know that something is up with that word.
Yeah, or just make it a brighter red, so when you click on it and it goes to a darker shade, it won't be one shade off of black red.
Yeah, because when you look at it again, like I'm like staring at my screen, it's like it's just blending into the rest of the font and texts.
Yeah,
like I'm not. I think I'm slightly colorblind in dark colors, and I think that's what I'm having experience with. But otherwise, like I can recognize red, I can recognize black, and I was still having a trouble like discerning where it was in the story.
If you clear your browser history and then go back here, you'll probably see it easy.
I probably will now that I'm actually actively looking for it. Absolutely, but
I mean, even if you're not, because the brighter red was fine. It's just you've already clicked on this red is bad.
Yeah. Anyway, my just like again nitpicky kind of thing. Just underline your fucking hyperlinks, please, in SCP entries.
You know what? That's not a nitpick. You don't deserve to be in the corner for that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm behind you.
You're propping me up.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
No, he just secretly wants to nitpick up for himself.
Yeah, he's just shoving me off the couch.
Yes.
But yeah, that's all I have for Grammar Inquisition. Guys, hyperlinks, they need to be more distinctive, please. So does anybody else have a Grammar Inquisition? Mikey?
I have a 2-sentence it story.
Ooh. And now, an it story with Mikey. The E stands for evil. Take it away.
It is currently unclear how SCP-3885-01 continue to find access to items such as fuel and tobacco products despite not being provided with these materials by the Foundation. It is suspected that this anomalous method of resupply is somehow related to the entity referred to by SCP-3885-01 as the boss, Finn.
Okay.
You know what? I kind of want to fight you on both of those because those both seem fair.
Yeah. Also, if anything, you just point out another grammar kind of thing that probably should come up. The story has a lot of run-ons, or not the story. This entry has a few run-on, has a number of run-ons, and it felt like, I don't know, was that first one a run-on? Because it felt like a run-on when you were reading it.
Yeah, the first one seemed a little run-on-y.
Yeah,
I didn't experience that myself, but
I came up with it. I came upon it when for like getting the quote for my first actual thought, actually. So.
okay.
So I didn't leave. I didn't put it in grammar position because I have a little bit more to say about the quote, but I was going to make a footnote about it. But yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah, I seem like it feels like those are pretty clear on who the its were or what the its were.
Because it goes it and then immediately tells you what it's talking about. Because the it isn't referring to something previously; it's just kind of there.
Yeah, like it's not like using it as like a he or a she kind of like situation, like a pronoun from a previous character. It's using it,
which is what 90% of all these other it stories are all about.
Yes. It's when when you're just kind of using the pronoun like of a character previously. But that can be very confusing occasionally because like you're just like, who's the fuck's talking right now, or whose actions are happening right now, like sort of thing, right?
I have a question right now, like Mikey, what would you replace those its with in these sentences? How would you reword it?
I guess the main issue is that the sentences begin with it, which we've been doing. So if you rearrange it ever slightly, so it'd be like, currently it is unclear how like,
okay,
for the first one.
How would you do the second one? Would you do currently on both of them?
Presently.
Yeah, see, you're just kind of digging your own grave.
I think there is a place for its to be at the front of something, and I think we found kind of an example of when it is fine to use that.
Well, you could have basically for the second one we suspect that this anomalous, because we just talked about the Foundation, because you could have the Foundation suspects that this anomalous method of resupply is somehow related to the entity of the boss.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perhaps.
I won't fully fight you on this, but you're in the nook now.
Yeah, you're now. Yeah, you've now been put onto the. He kicked me off the couch, and you're now sitting in my spot.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So is that all you got for grammar position?
Yep.
All right, gamer.
I ain't got none.
Cool. Then I'm going to. So yeah, like I said earlier, I have like a thing about the run-on, but it also kind of has a bit more to it with the quote I'm going to use for my actual thought. So I'm just going to dive into actual. We'll just dive into actual. Great segue. So SCP-3885 is the small mining town of Vulture Gulch, located in Maricopa County, Arizona, the United States of America, which was officially declared abandoned on July 9th, 1973, primarily due to concerns over the amount of radon gas being produced by the uranium deposits present in nearby Vulture Gulch mine. Yeah, it's all commas all the way down.
Sentence?
It's all commas.
Damn.
Yeah. Like, you really could have just it's like Arizona, United States, period. The town was officially declared abandoned in July 9th, 1973, primarily due to concerns of radon gas. And then just like the gas was produced by, and then period there after gas, and then the gas was primarily deposited by uranium deposits present in the nearby mine. Or you could just like have that all as one sentence at the very end, but like cut it up with one period at least, please. But more importantly, since this is an actual thought, not a grammar acquisition, given SCP-3885-01 and their nature that we like discover as it goes, I was sort of reminded by the townsfolk from a Goosebumps novel / episode, Welcome to Dead House, which has spoilers, a town of undead people brought back by a disaster at a local power plant that like basically infected the whole town.
Oh.
Yeah, like a family moves into a house into a house in this town called Dark Falls, and they discover that all their neighbors are acting kind of weird and funny. Like they're all like ashen skinned and like really weird like looking. Like they're always like deadpan or like calm, and like they're like always like kind of pleasant, like super pleasant all the time. And they're like trying to get them to like come over to like a barbecue or like some kind of a gathering or something. And then you discover that it's like they discover some like newspapers about a power plant that like had a disaster at it nearby, and infected the whole town. And the whole town's basically been like was like quarantined for a while. And then you discover that basically the power plant turned the whole town into zombies of a kind. So
Yeah, very similar.
yeah, kind of just similar in terms of like again the radon gas. Like I'm assuming that the at this point again, like we find out that maybe the boss somebody placed these creatures here or these entities here, but like initially I was like kind of getting the impression that the radon gas was the reason for the inception of these beings, because
I mean it still could be for all we know.
Yeah, exactly. The radon gas and like whatever is coming out of the mines might be have been planted there and turned the desiccated bodies of like the townsfolk into zombies. So going on to my next one here. Speaking of 388501, are humanoid entities confirmed to be genetically human, but with a number of anomalous properties? SCP-388501 outwardly resemble humans in a state of significant decomposition and desiccation. Many exhibit signs of bodily trauma, such as missing body parts or significant lacerations. However, some others display apparent mutations, such as highly increased muscle mass and additional limbs. All SCP-388501 entities demonstrate greatly enhanced physical strength and durability regardless of body type. How SCP-388501 exhibit these properties, despite their apparent state of physical decay and lack of conventional biological vitality, is unknown. These entities inhabit the ruins of SCP-3885 and appear to adhere to a loosely structured communal society which centers around the construction, repair, maintenance, and utilization of heavily modified automobiles. And it keeps going on and on about these characters, or these creatures, these entities. And I'm just like, so these folks are like jovial Mad Max zombie mutant gearheads. I'm in. I love this. I'm happy to read this. I'm also kind of reminded by several things as I was reading as I read these characters, because like there's definitely some if there's not some inspiration like directly, there's definitely some cultural inspiration on this kind of like creature, because I was reminded of a couple of like different pieces of media while reading the story. So there's a Saturday morning cartoon show from the 90s. I think it was probably the early 90s. It was about the like weird and zany sports obsessed mutants. And they could like get horribly like destroyed or like like harmed, and they'd be like perfectly fine because they just reassemble themselves. And it was called Mutant League when I googled it to try and remember what the hell it was.
Okay.
I'm also getting kind of like a trauma film vibe, like kind of like the Toxic Avenger or like Nukem High sort of situation, as well as like the smart zombies from Return of the Living Dead, except they aren't brain eaters. They're just they're just basically they're zombies, like they're the living dead that are practically immortal. Like even when you burn those zombies, they just become like a chemical smoke that then gets up into the atmosphere and starts raining down again to reanimate more corpses. So like you can't really kill them. But the only difference between these ones and those zombies, basically just like the intelligent zombie trope, I guess, is really what I'm thinking of here. And yeah, that's really my takeaway from these zombies that I love about it. It's a zany metalhead zombie cartoono, as it seems like, but it's in like a real life location. At least according to the Foundation, right? So
yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like as soon as I started like reading like what these zombies were or what these beings were doing and what they were all about, I was like, I love this. I'm happy to read this. I can't wait to see more. And my next one here, unless you guys have something you want to like interject with on that. No?
I concur.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to my next one. This is going to be my this is the cultists gaming corner, I guess, or like the kitchen segment for like making this like gameable or like for a scenario kind of thing. So here's the quote. observation drone is directed further down Gold Street, which ends in a T-junction. 2 vehicles, a heavily modified 1992 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1, or is it ZR1 because it's American? Anyways, and a 1997 Jeep Grand Cherokee approach from the right and left and crash headlong into one another at the center of the junction, resulting in a large explosion. Several SCP-388501 entities emerge unharmed from the flames, laughing and lighting cigars off the wreckage and one another's burning clothing. So I can definitely see some fodder here for like a tabletop RPG sort of like scenario or like a campaign or something like that. Using probably like monster and other childish things. Because this strikes me as like buddy horror a little bit. Like I could definitely see one of these
whole town of buddies.
Yeah, no, but I could definitely see like having a kid with one of these monsters as like their buddy, as their monster friend.
Oh yeah, totally.
But also like if you like were to reskin the goblins in the RPG Goblin, that's GOBBLIN apostrophe, which is an RPG from our friends over at the Drunk and the Ugly podcast that they've actually gotten published, and we've played. Me and Gamer have played a couple of times. Like I feel like that would really work because in that the goblins are basically indestructible, or at least like mostly unkillable to a degree. Like they're cartoonishly resilient. Like it does say in the story in the system that you can cut off a goblin's head, and if another goblin gets there fast enough and like slaps it back on their body, they're fine. So yeah, like it's kind of got that cartoonish like violence feel to it. And I really feel like you could do like a slice of life campaign where you're these like zombie folks in Vulture Gulch, just like hanging out and like having misadventures within their town, like smashing up cars, or like, oh man, we gotta sneak past the Foundation, those Foundation guys to like go grab something that we really want from this town over. And kind of conversely, because of like the whole like gearhead aspect of it, I could also see like again reskinning or like hacking the Crash Pandas RPG, which is an indie RPG about a group of raccoons participating in illegal street races in with humans in LA. You heard me.
Everything's normal here.
Yeah. So yeah, just reskin the raccoons to be like these zombie things. And I feel like you could do that. Again, similarly, motherfucking crab truckers.
Yeah.
Straight up, like, again, there's a bunch of like these like indie RPGs out there, like on itch and like a bunch of other like websites that you could just like that all seem to revolve around like car culture or like Motorhead like action adventure bullshit. And I feel like you could just like reskin those or hack those slightly to just have these zombie folk in them as your characters. Like yeah, telling fun adventures with these creatures, traveling the roads as the boss intended, maybe for like the motherfucking crab truckers. Like
yeah,
in motherfucking crab truckers, your crab truckers are doing it for the motherfucking crab goddess. So basically, just strip that down and just be like your motherfucking zombie folk motherfucking zombie truckers traveling across America as motherfucking boss intended.
No, you're metal fucking zombie truckers.
Yeah, metal fucking zombie. Yeah, exactly. There we go. Metal fucking zombie truckers. Yeah, 100%. Like this is like like that Mad Max aesthetic is really what a bunch of these tabletop RPGs like try to kind of like grab onto, and I feel like that's perfect for this. And then going to move on to this series of quotes here. This is from the observed dialogue between SCP-388501-A and 388501. So B. Why though? Are we in trouble? I think we're doing a really good job. We set a rock on fire yesterday. Rocks don't burn, dude. A. No. I think it's because of those dudes outside. B. Those dudes? I like those dudes. They talk fancy and give us cars. We don't have to like go fuck with people anymore. I don't like fucking with people. It makes me sad. This is the part where I was like, these guys are fucking buddy horror. Like, I'm getting buddy horror vibes just like reading this.
Yeah.
Like, totally. I'm getting all choked up right now. Like, yeah, they're just dudes, like living their best life, living their best.
They don't want to hurt anybody. They just want to make cars. That's all they want to do.
It literally, it straight up says in the story that even though when they raided towns and threatened with hostility, they never actually went through with it.
No.
They just want cars. Just leave them alone. I'm just like super like, oh my god, I'm actually kind of getting, I'm getting like hilariously like choked up about like how buddy horror this is.
Mm-hmm. They have loud barks, but no bite at all.
Yeah, like again, I haven't read any of the Joey Fucknut stories, but I hope we get some element of discourse between like Joey and the security agents. Like I hope we get some kind of like there's some kind of like some fun moments there. I don't know if we're gonna get it. Apparently you guys have read the first story.
I read the first one. It's not in the first story. I'll say that.
Okay, it's not in the first story, but I mean there is like a later. I think the fourth story of the Joey Fucknut saga. Can't believe I just said that.
Yeah.
I believe it is Joey Fucknuts makes a friend. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the future holds in the next few weeks. But yeah, I was just like, man, this is like, again, this is just giving me like the buddy horror vibes of just like they just want to be buddies. Like they're horrifying, they're horrific in their nature, but they're bad guys, but they're not bad guys.
Yeah, Zangief is right.
It's like incredibly wholesome horror.
Yeah, it is actually. Because it doesn't even go
God.
heavy into like how mutated and like rotting they are. It's described at a base level, you know.
Yeah, on a base analytical level, it's like yes, they're showing signs of desiccation and decomposition. They have shown signs of trauma, like missing limbs. And lacerations. That's all we're going to go into.
Yeah.
But you can just visualize, like I'm visualizing like the ghouls from Fallout.
Fallout, yeah.
Or even like just like basic like mutated like radiation mutants from like any fucking post-apocalypse movie or game ever. Yeah. So moving on to the next one here, and this is actually the big revelation that I kind of came off of like left the story with. So this is again the A and B are talking. And then like a little bit at the end after that. So A, yeah, but like we can't leave. I think we're supposed to leave and do shit. B, what shit? A, dude, the boss fucking told us when he put us here. The shit we're supposed to do all over the place out there. The super fucking metal badass excellent shit I did with metal horns like as soon as I said that.
Yeah, of course. You have to.
Yeah. B. Yeah, but what shit though? A. I don't remember. It is currently unclear how SCP-3885-01 continues to find access to items such as fuel and tobacco products, despite not being provided with these materials by the Foundation. It is suspected that this anomalous method of resupply is somehow related to the entity referred to by SCP-3885-01 as the boss. Investigation is ongoing. So there, first off, like that little bit, there's like as like the Foundation's kind of they haven't figured out how they're getting this resupply of like their basic amenities. But that's your game fodder right there for like a goblin hack. It's like you're the guys who have like you've dug a hole like a tunnel under the desert, or you're trying basically you're a group of these creatures that are trying to like break containment to get to a town, so you can just like shoplift a bunch of like cigars and fuel.
Yeah,
like that's your game scenario
going on in the background all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the game scenario, and the Foundation just hasn't caught wind of it, or like that's the obstacle in the scenario is trying to get around, trying to like sneak past the Foundation. But the big revelation I kind of took away from this about the boss and like the apparent intended purpose for the SCP-3885-01, guys, I think the boss might be SCP-3899, the Night Hauler. Like it's a little like I feel like it matches. It's by the same guy. It's by CadaverCommander.
Yeah.
And it's a similar like road theme, like a road culture obsessed eldritch entity that may want to spread its enthusiasm for road travel across the country. I think this is like a Road Warrior zombie apocalypse that never quite made it out of the first town because the zombies are too dumb to remember the plan. I think these. The more I think about it, these zombies are also kind of like orcs from like Warhammer and Warhammer 40k, where they're just like they just want to go on wars, but they're also like kind of like stupidly pleasant at times. It's like, come on, we gotta go for a war. Yeah, war. Where? like that kind of thing. Yeah,
I mean,
like
it does kind of make sense with the Night Hauler because, like, what's he hauling? How about fuel and cigars?
Oh, fuck! That's how they get it.
Yeah, man.
What a revelation!
What a revelation!
But yeah, Mikey, it sounded like you were going to counter me on that.
Well, when I first read this, I partially assumed that the boss would end up being Joey Fucknuts because he isn't mentioned at all.
No, he is. Like the Joey Fucknuts told
Oh, right.
A that the boss is coming, or that he heard that the boss was coming back. So that he can't be the boss. He's like the prophet of the boss or something.
But they are stupid.
That is true. They are
true.
stupid.
He could just put on Groucho Marx glasses and be like, "I am the
Oh my
boss."
god! Again, that. Oh my god! I like that's 100% a goblin, like a goblin the RPG move.
Yeah.
Yeah. These guys are just basically like fucking goblins. Like they're like metalhead trash goblins.
I'd love it if Joey just like puts on a hat and they're like, "I am the boss." It's like, "Aren't you Joey?" And he's like, "No, Steve. He has a hat. Joey doesn't have a hat." Right. Hi, boss. He's the one that has a hat.
Joey, yeah, it's like that's the boss. Like that's not Joey, it's the boss. Joey doesn't have a hat.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
How dumb are you?
I mean, come on, man. Like, come on, dude. Like, but it's like, but dude, have we ever seen the boss and Joey in the same room? Of course we have. As soon as Joey leaves the room, the boss comes back in. Like, we've seen them in the same room.
Right.
Shit, I can't fault that logic.
Yeah.
Man, it's just science. Like, just like poking his head.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking love this entry. Yeah, guys, a little bit spoilers. I love this fucking entry and these creatures.
Yeah, clearly.
All right, I've said my piece with my actual thoughts. I guess it's time for you guys to tear it down because I can't. It can't be this. I can't be the. It can't be this good. There has to be something wrong with it, guys, and I depend on you guys to smack me down to reality. So, Mikey, the E stands for evil. Take it away.
Ruin my hopes and dreams.
Yes. Destroy me. Destroy my emotions.
This is gonna be hard.
Yes.
Because I really liked the Mad Max vibes that I got from this, and then just adding just sheer stupidity to it with the mutant zombies.
Oh my god! Sorry. Yeah, I'm like brimming with like excitement and enthusiasm for this. Sorry. Stop it! Slap! All right.
So basically, you got Mad Max and mutant zombies together.
He did it!
He did a thing.
Wow!
I love it. This is just, I'm also like kind of reminded of Rage or like Rage 2, where they just like let's just let you be raiders or like the like badass and bullshit. That also sounds like an RPG hack of some kind, like badass and bullshit.
It does.
Writing that down. But yes, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I like their failed attempts at creating super vehicles.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna quote the last one here.
Sorry, I did forget to mention. Yeah, there in the rundown there is a chart of all their of a handful of their projects. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not nearly all of them. It's only 4.
Yeah, but I'm quoting the last one here on the chart. It's a monster truck, each wheel replaced with an entire 1965 Ford Mustang, and central chassis is armored, spiked, and equipped with 4 flamethrowers, a sound system consisting of 19 haphazardly placed guitar amplifier stacks, and an ice cream dispenser. The vehicle is completely non-functional. However, the sound system successfully plays a rotating selection of heavy metal music, including, but not limited to, Metallica, Motley Crue, Testament, and Rob Zombie, at a volume of over 120 decibels, described by one of the SCP-3885-01 as the most metal ice cream maker in fucking history. Yep.
Accurate.
Very accurate. Also, what's that decibel range? Is it like how crazy is that?
Let's
really
find
know.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I oddly enough, I didn't check that because I figured one of you guys would do some research on that.
It's the equivalent of a thunderclap or chainsaw.
Jesus. Okay, so a regular metal concert then.
Apparently, sounds below 70 decibels are considered safe. Any sound higher than that is likely to damage your hearing over time.
Yeah. So a metal concert.
Yeah, constantly.
Yeah. I love. Damn. Yeah, that is the most fun. Yeah, like as soon as a car, like affixing guitar amps to a car, I was just thinking of that scene from Fury Road with the flamethrower guitar guy.
Yeah.
Like that. Again, like that's the imagery that this story, like these entities invoke. Is that just like that kind of like Fury Road, like crazy wastelander?
Totally.
Yeah, which is what makes this very Mad Max like, other than the vehicle doesn't actually work as a vehicle.
Yeah, and the fact that they're in a
Doesn't need
desert.
to be a vehicle.
Because it's an ice cream dispenser.
Yeah.
The better purpose is the ice cream dispenser, not the music.
Yeah. Hey man, I would love, like, if I could attach like amps to play metal music to every appliance I want, that would be the dream.
Just have your coffee maker play a metal riff when the coffee's ready.
Yes.
Nice.
What's that coffee song from oh fuck, what the hell's that? What was that show called?
Death Clock.
Death Clock. Yeah, it's like the coffee from Death Clock, the coffee song. Coffee.
Do you folks like coffee? You're gonna get some now. And scream for your cream.
Death Clock. Yeah, Death Clock is a cartoon about a heavy metal band, and it's like it's so metal.
Yeah, that was a good show. I still need to watch the final season of it.
Nice.
But yeah. So that's the end of my actual thoughts.
Okay, just a quick interjection here. Are we all metalheads? Like, do we all like metal?
I know I am.
I know I am.
Then the answer is yes.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So there's no surprise that this story like connected with us again.
Hey, I haven't said any words yet.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. Tear me down. Here we go. So is that all you got for actual thoughts there, Mikey?
Yep.
Okay. So, Gamer, you're up.
Well,
Be the grounding force.
Yeah. See, conversely to you guys, where you guys seem to really enjoy it and you had a fun time reading it, I conversely enjoyed it and had a fun time reading it, you see.
Okay. Yeah. That is a hot take. That is a bold statement.
Yeah, I know.
You're wrong. You're wrong, and I hate you.
I know, but you know,
There
I'm
we go.
allowed to be wrong.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you are.
I have my own opinion.
I feel like all of April is just like our April Fool's episode.
I mean, it might be.
This should have been our April Fool's episode. If we did not have that stupid Fruit Loops idea, like stupid is there a Fruit creepypasta? I feel like this would have been our April Fool's episode that would have just gone on for a month.
Yeah. I mean, we had to do that, but regardless, that's not the story. So, my first note I took down is in regards to Vulture Gulch and its real life equivalent, which is just called Vulture City.
Oh, okay.
It's in the same area, same state, but all the past history is different on it.
Yeah.
Because Vulture Gulch said it was officially declared abandoned in '73 due to the radon gas from the uranium from the mine. Meanwhile, the real life one it was shut down in 42. And it has a gold mine, and it was shut down because they weren't giving the gold to the government for the war effort.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just gonna be because the gold the gold ran out.
No, basically they
Yeah.
weren't giving it to the government. Bought it and won, but they didn't end up like going back into the mine because they're like, that kind of sapped all of our energy out of getting the gold out of the mine now.
Oh man, we gotta give this to the man. Fuck that noise.
Well, no, I'm saying they won, so I don't know if that meant that they didn't need to
Weird.
give it to them. But regardless, they just didn't continue the mine. As far as my one Google search said,
Yeah.
I'm
Wait.
not a.
So
Go ahead.
it was just because they won, and they had a mine of gold in the 40s, and they're like, "Nah, brah, we're done." It's like
That's just what Google said, man.
I understand, like, yeah, and like there's definitely got to be something a little bit more to it, but like maybe Vulture Gold, maybe there was actually radon gas. No, I don't know.
Maybe, but no.
So is this the image? Because there's two images that accompany this entry, and like the ones of the towns like layout vantage like layout from a vantage point like above it, like on a hill or something. Is that Vulture City or?
I don't know.
Okay.
It didn't actually.
Yeah, one of
check
us.
that.
Hey, let me just clear.
Vulture City.
An
That just happened upon that exact picture.
Search Google for image.
Oh, you're right. You can do that, can't you?
Calico Ghost Town, it's called. So
Okay.
the image that we get of the ghost town in the desert. And again, like this is nothing new. Like ghost towns exist all across the desert and across like the old frontier of America and Canada, even to a degree. Because they were basically set up as mining towns that went bust or dried up. Like only a few of them, like a very few, like compared to the population of them that were around during that day, only a few of them ended up becoming major cities. Like and remain today. But yeah, like there's tons of like old settlements and like ghost towns out in like desert areas of America, because of the gold rushes and such. So
yeah, for sure.
Good fodder at the very least. Good fodder for like creepy settings and stuff like that in the Old West.
Mm-hmm. Like a lot of these mining towns, even if they didn't prosper, they funded other nearby towns so they could prosper and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then I just Googled the explosion image, and it just comes up with the Wikipedia entry for explosions.
Oh.
So yeah, again, like this entry is using like materials from like websites, from like government websites and like Wikipedia entries. So that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just using it as a so you have a good visual of what the town and stuff like looks like.
Yep. And in regards to the town and everything,
yeah.
Vulture City is, from again my one or two Googlings, way bigger than what Vulture Gulch is described as.
Yeah.
Because it said that at its height, this town, Vulture Gulch, had like 340 people or something in it. Meanwhile, Vulture City, back in the 40s, had 5,000 people.
Oh yeah, of course, because I mean you needed a lot of miners back then, depending on the or depending on what you were doing. Also, Vulture City might have been close to a rail yard or like the railways and stuff, so they might have had like people working on the rail system.
Maybe
that might be a little bit older. I'm not sure. I think that might be older, but yeah, like
regardless though, because of all the differences between the towns, I'm basically viewing it as like not a real life town.
No, yeah.
Where most SCPs are kind of taking place in real towns, right?
Yeah, this is clearly made like they probably drew inspiration from Vulture City and then just like kind of made their own version of it, but like downsized it.
Yeah. Although, like personally, I kind of wish they kept all the names the same. Although, because like right now,
you can have issues with that though. Like, I'm just gonna point out to Burkittsville in the Blair Witch Project.
Okay, but this isn't like a movie that you're getting paid to make.
But like. I mean, fiction. It's some people. I think this like it depends depending on the author and stuff like that. But like sometimes you don't want to like attribute something like this kind of thing to like to a real place. But
yeah, I guess.
Although to counter it is still Vulture City is a ghost town, right?
Yeah, it's a privately owned ghost town right now that you can go and take tours of.
There it is, privately owned. It's not public. So like copyright sort of situation thing, or like yes, it's an SCP entry and it's on there, but like I could see it, because Vulture City is privately owned, it's not you don't have the like you may not have the right or to the right to basically use that name and like the city
Okay.
itself.
Gotcha.
So
All right.
they had to basically they filed the name off and made it slightly different so that it is legally different or legally distinct.
Okay, that's fair.
Copyrigh's kind of a bitch sometimes. So. Also, I'm sorry. I've been looking at this explosion image on the SCP entry,
Yes.
and I'm just like, and I realized like typical result of SCP-3885-01 attempt at a automotive engineering. I was like, that's a big explosion for an automotive accident.
Yeah, they
That's a
mod
lot
these
of
things
fuel.
a lot.
That is a lot of fuel.
The more fuel, the more metal.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. There's a clear fuel to metal ratio.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot to chime in when you were saying this quote before, but I'll
shoot.
just say it again.
Okay.
When A and B are talking,
Yeah.
B's like, "Why though? Are we in trouble?" I think we're doing a really good job. We set a rock on fire yesterday. Rocks don't burn, dude. And my response to that is, "We are doing great work. We have to be stopped." SCP-902.
Oh no! Oh no! SCP-902 is the boss.
My God,
Shit!
that's what the Night Hauler's hauling.
Oh God! He's hauling
Connect everything together.
Yeah, we're that crazy guy in the mail room that has like all these different like things on a cork board.
Mm-hmm.
It's all coming together.
But we're like clearly nuts. One's like a picture of a fish. We're like, I know he has something to do with it.
Yep. But yeah, I did hear your chuckle when I when I first read that. Just like,
yeah,
we set a rock on fire yesterday. Rocks don't catch fire.
they don't.
I love that. It's just like, again, that's orc thinking. It's like, just like, we did that today. That can't be done, dude. We did it though. We made our dreams come true. We just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I only have a blanket statement where, in the same conversation, A says, "Dude, the boss fucking told us when he put us here. The shit we're supposed to do all over the place. The super fucking metal badass excellent shit. This is like the second or metal shit all over the place. Like it's kind of hilarious."
I love it. Again, I just imagine if this is the Night Hauler, I just like, all right, boys, I'm sitting you down on a path. You need to go across America. You got Hauler doing that?
Yeah, I could. I do wonder if their quote unquote mission briefing is super vague, or they're just too dumb to remember the specifics.
I think the answer is yes.
Cool.
Like I think they are just it's both to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're probably just told to like go across the horizon and bring forth metal. And then it's just like they're like what were you doing again? I don't know. I made a car explode. And set fire to a rock. Rocks don't burn, dude. Metal.
Yeah, I wonder if their boss. First off, I wonder if their boss is actually has the same intelligence they do, or if he's normal or smart, and like he told them what to do in a very specific way, and they're all just like, what?
Oh my
And he's
God!
like, just go across the world and do metal shit. It's like, oh, okay.
I'm just imagining like Sauron, but like Sauron the Dank Lord. And he's just got like he's got a big doobie like through his helmet. God. Again, I'm for this apocalypse. This sounds so fucking great. Again, this sounds so fucking metal. Also, now think about it. There's also like a bunch of like tabletop RPGs that are coming out that have been coming out recently that just embrace this kind of like completely gonzo, zany metal apocalypse. Like Morkborg is a death metal RPG. It is a tabletop RPG that is based on that revolves around the themes of death metal fantasy. And they've come up with some hacks recently for like basically other genres of in metal, but like using metal as like heavy metal as the overtones for it. Like I think it's Morkpunk or Cyberborg. And it's Cyborg. And it's basically cyberpunk in Morkborg, like the system.
Oh, nice.
And like Morkborg, the rule book and like the art of it is gorgeous. It is super like metal art, like metal album.
Like everything
artwork.
looks like an album cover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of other tabletop RPGs that are coming out kind of in its wake. and have probably come before it. Like this also feels very Apocalypse World, like the original setting of Apocalypse World, where it's just like again riffing on like Mad Max style apocalypse or like Road Warrior style apocalypse stuff. So yeah, like this is like rife for that kind of like tabletop RPG adventure stuff.
For sure. Especially since like in this story and like they're already building a world, quote unquote, in this little town.
Yeah.
So like you could just read these stories and then there's all of your fodder and you have a whole bunch of NPCs good to go. Start your game, you know.
We even get some names like A and B aren't fully or aren't like completely like designated. Like I don't think we get A's name. I don't think we get B's name, but I think A is Ramon or Ramond or something like that.
Is it?
Yeah, because I know he Rami A references Rami, but that's another character. But then like I think one like down the road here, and we get Joey Fucknuts obviously.
You might just be thinking of Rami.
No, hang on. There's another name in here somewhere. The floppy screwdriver. Okay, yeah, no, I gotta bring this one up. Okay, I'm gonna reference it. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, A. It's like yeah, this is actually where the name is too. So this is A talking to B, whose apparently name is Polly. Oh, Polly, you're so fucking stupid. That's a Norwegian flange rectifier. Vikings used them to put horns on their hot rods, which is metal, but it's also fancy because it's Europe.
That logic.
Oh God, it's like. Or like B. That's fucking dumb, dude. Gas doesn't have a tongue, so how could it taste? How could it taste itself? A. No, man. It's like science and shit. It's chemicals. Chemicals is good for cars. You're a chemical. Fuck you, dude. You're a chemical. Oh my God. I love this fucking dialogue. I love these characters so much.
Also, from the next story that Mikey and I accidentally read, I believe we get a name for A in the next story.
Okay.
I think it's the same guy.
Maybe. Oh, it is because he heard it from Joey Fucknuts, right? So
yes, but regardless.
Yes.
Yeah,
we are getting ahead of ourselves. Tune in next week when we do Joey Fucknuts builds a flying machine. But yeah, we should get on to. If there's nothing else, I don't think we want to go check out this SCP entry to get the rest of the dialogue and stuff that we've been like kind of gushing over.
Because there's a lot of stuff we're not mentioning just because there's a lot of lines.
Yeah, and that's a good segue to our final thoughts, I believe. Unless you have something more there, gamer.
I donut.
Okay.
It's the most technologically advanced donut possible.
Yes. So this entry is not scary. First and foremost, I'm going to say that, but it is a fun, weird, horror-styled sort of thing. And I say horror-styled. I've said it before, but like I have two definitions for horror, for like horror genre. There's horror substance, which actually tries to like pump you with fear and make you uneasy and creeped out. And then there's horror style, which has come out in the more recent like decades, which is like embracing the aesthetic of horror media, because like this kind of thing uses the monster, a monster-like setup from like The Hills Have Eyes, or like zombie fiction, or like mutant fiction in general, but doesn't try to overtly scare with them. Like at best, there's probably like a visceral horror of just like how like visceral they're like and like palpable some of their actions are, but like even then, it's not really that. It's not really covered too much. And like there is some implications of spookier shit going on here with the enigmatic boss, like and their original purpose on this Earth. Like this could have been the start of an apocalypse, but the zombies were too dumb to start to fully start the apocalypse.
Yeah.
And honestly, like again, like I've been saying this. I think we've all been saying this. It's a fun entry and a fun setup, and I am now very interested where the stories are going to go with Joey Fucknuts. I can't believe I said that, but here we are. Again.
Just the name of Joey Fucknuts, I thought it was just going to be a troll pasta.
Yeah, same. Like I was not expecting intelligent zombie mutants in the desert building shit. I don't know what I was expecting.
Should be in quotations, by the way, or at least really dark red font.
Yes, yeah, exactly. With a hyperlink.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, no, I recommend this entry. Go check it out. Go check out SCP-3885 by CadaverCommander. CadaverCommander, I salute.
Again.
But that's my recommendation and final thoughts. So, Mikey, these stands for evil.
It is an enjoyable setup, that's for sure, because we're definitely getting the Mad Max vibes, but it's sort of like, what if Mad Max was dumb?
But in a
I
really
feel like there
cool
have
way.
been no. You know what this is? This is Turbo Kid. This is like a B-rated or this is like an indie film that is riffing, or this is like Manboard, or like one of those indie films that try to riff on the themes of Mad Max, but make them like they're like, but wait, I can make this dumber.
It's like Turkish Mad Max.
Exactly. But it's not a bad thing. It's not a negative connotation. At least I don't find it that way. It's just like, wait, I can make this dumber. With a crazed, enthusiastic expression on your face when you say that.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry. I'm sorry. Your recommendation.
Yeah, and I feel like if this was a movie, like it would be set in that town, and you'd throughout the entire movie you'd be thinking, oh, it's post-apocalyptic, but then you just zoom out and then you see the wall around.
Oh my god!
That'd be an awesome ending.
I want that fucking movie.
Yeah.
I want that movie and that fucking twist so bad. Like, somebody out there, make that indie film. There's so many abandoned built like ghost towns out in the deserts of Nevada and Arizona. Do it, please. Or somebody recommend the movie that already exists and we just don't know about it yet.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Fuck. Damn you, Mikey.
It was a superpower.
Am I high right now? Like shit.
I don't know, are you?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm high on life right now. I'm high on this story supply, apparently. All right, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah.
But,
That is a really good. Yeah.
So, and the whole ice cream machine just sold it for me. So I'm going to recommend this.
You should. All right, Gaber. What's your negative recommendation?
I can't.
I know.
I can't
That's
even
the
jokingly be like, it's silly, I don't like it.
It's not. This isn't a creepypasta at all. It's not.
I wasn't creeped out at all.
It's like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it's not on freaking creepypasta.wiki or whatever, so it's not meant to be.
Yeah, but it is. Yeah, but SCP. This definitely shows like SCPs can be scary. Like, actually, like seriously atmospheric and scary, but they can also be really fun and silly while telling a really weird item or artifact or entity.
Yeah, they don't have to be silly, and it's like in the way where it's okay, this is ridiculous, I shouldn't care about this at all.
Yeah.
This is silly to ridiculous extents, but just the way that everything's described and the way the characters talk to each other and stuff, it gets you invested. Like, I want to know more about this town. I want to meet more of these characters.
I want more drone footage. I want more like road. Like, honestly, there could be stories of like Road 9, like the observations of Road 9, just like going through the story and just us getting slice of life. This little commune of mutant zombie metalheads in the desert.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I love the idea of this being like you think it's the apocalypse, the whole setup, and then it just pans out and you see the quarantine zone or like the containment walls and. God, it's so fucking good. Like this right here to me proves that is my proof that like horror does not have to be super serious and like in your face terrifying. It can be, you can take it as serious and as silly as you want it to be.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Because like the aesthetic of horror is cool. Yeah. So
there's a reason there's whole conventions of like that where like people dress up as their favorite like monsters and horror icons, but they're all having fun with. That's honestly what it feels like. It's just like a convention, like a horror convention.
Yeah.
They've like walked into.
Because they're all just dudes. They just look fucked up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like again, like people go to like horror conventions and stuff like that to like be part of the horror community. Like that's like again to be scared and to be creeped out. But then like people are just like like you go to watch a movie at one of these things at one of those conventions, and then you're just like, man, that was really fucked up and creepy, and then everybody's like, yeah, right, that was so awesome, like yeah, like you get that pumped up that pumped up energy from like fans of horror, and so like that's what it's about. Like that's what horror style is about.
Yep, sure. Yeah.
Just felt like for a second there, I felt like I was the only one on stage, and just like everything got really quiet. It's like so that's my TED talk. Thanks.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. And like overall, this might be my favorite like non-scary SCP that I've read.
Yeah.
Like, period. Just because it's just so fun.
It's really up there, man.
And like I can't like some of these other SCPs is like, okay, they're weird dudes or like they're silly or whatever, but they're still assholes. These guys aren't. So like I can sympathize with them.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
they're just dudes.
It's buddy horror. Like this is what we mean by buddy horror. Like it's horrifying. Like their nature and their purpose may be horrifying, but they're just trying to hang out, dude. Like take a chill pill.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, we just it kind of reminds me like of the styling that they treated. I think it was in Return of the Living Dead. If I'm thinking it's probably Return of the Living Dead 2. It might have been Return. Yeah, I think it's Return of the Living Dead 2, where the zombies had a lot more. Like first, Return of the Living Dead was a horror comedy, but it had some horrific moments. Number 2 had some horrific moments, but it was like there was definitely a little bit more of a tongue-in-cheek sort of attitude towards the zombies in that one. Like where like there's a scene in it where one of the guys who's been infected and his girlfriend is like sticking with him through his transformation, and like basically he convinces her that like to become a zombie with him by letting him bite her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that kind of thing. Or like the zombies have like humorous quips, like even after they've been defeated. Like the one zombie head at the very end of the movie. Spoilers for Return of the Living Dead 2. You should go check it out. But they're like one of the heads that like as the government's like rolling in and basically disposing of these zombie body parts and so one of the heads kind of like rolls over, like does like a roll from where it fell, and it's like, and then it comes alive. It's like, all right, you got us this time, but we'll be back. Wait, what? Ah! And then it gets grabbed and thrown into a garbage bag.
Nice.
Yeah, it's that kind of like silly, but also like it's silly in a horror setting, and that's what I love about it.
Mm-hmm. And what I really like about it is seeing the thought processes of all the 01s. It's just great. And like, as weird as it sounds, it mostly makes sense, the things that the parallels that they're drawing to in what they're saying. Because like, they're just simple folk, you know?
Yeah. So
they only have so much knowledge. So without knowing what something is 100%, they can only make assumptions based on what they already know, which is little. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, we don't have any education, but we got gumption in spades to make this car cooler.
Pretty much.
Oh God, I like, again, the one that keeps coming to me is like a group of these zombie folk in the middle of like the town square, and one of them is just like dunking their head in a trough of what seems like gasoline, and then lighting his head on fire for the crowd. Like,
yeah, for the amusement of others, and then he does it again, and the crowd has the same level of pop from him doing it for 20 minutes straight.
it's like, again, maybe you don't even need to like change up like the like reskin the goblins, because this just seems like like the goblins from Goblin the RPG. It just seems like that kind of like silly nature, like that kind of like dumb, like they're just dumb, they're just having fun, living their best life in Vulture Gulch. Blowing shit up and smoking cigars because that's what they love doing, and they're just gonna keep doing it for all of eternity or until the boss shows and tells them to rock on across the map. Oh God! But yeah, so
like,
I guess
like the whole thing is like if you took like cavemen or some other tribal people and put them in like a Mad Max world, this is what you would eventually get to, you know?
Yeah, like they
have to be building their own knowledge based on things that they're seeing.
Yeah, like or conversely, this is like kind of what what's that? It's like a metal festival out in the desert. Fuck.
I don't know this one.
Shit. Hang on, let me see if I can pull it up.
The only thing I'm thinking of is Burning Man, but that's not metal.
I was thinking Burning Man, but maybe I'm thinking of Desert Moon Metal Fest. maybe. Anyway, yeah, like I've seen like images and some of that of like people like basically going out into the deserts of like Nevada or like out near in like out in that region of like one of the American deserts, one of the American desert states, and basically just having like Mad Maxian like metal festival out in the middle of the desert with like fire spewing everywhere and like people dressed up in leathers and like metalhead stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what this like screams to me. It's just like that kind of like they've developed this kind of culture kit. These zombies,
The best culture kit.
yeah. I almost like I dare say this is like metal horror to a degree. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
uh,
It is metal bands referenced and being played constantly in this town.
yeah. Although I am just one thing I am disappointed about. If I had to be disappointed about anything on this in this entry, is that Iron Maiden was not on that list of metal songs or metal artists because of their mascot. Just kind of, I kept seeing the Iron Maiden mascot as these zombies as well.
Well, but that doesn't mean they don't play it.
No, that's true. I'm disappointed it wasn't mentioned in the entry.
Yeah, because it does say
We got Rob
these
Zombie.
It does say in that list of metal bands, like these are played, but not only these.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So you could also self-insert your own favorite bands, and yeah, sure, they're probably playing there too.
Dragon Force, like they're just blaring like through the fire and the flames, like
Yeah.
at that 120 decibels.
Totally. Well, there's explosions going on behind them.
Yeah, while they're just they're doing a drag race like around town. Oh, God. So I'm guessing it's a resounding recommendation from all of us here.
No, I clearly hate it.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad, guys.
Yeah, totally. Oh, it is
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to reading. Like again, like we've talked before. We're like, oh yeah, this SCP's entry is cool. I wish there was more stories about it. Well, we're about to get like 4 helpings of that. With the
I really hope those don't disappoint.
Oh fuck! Shit! Did we just overhype? Damn it! Did we overhype this? I'm now in a corner. I'm not in the Nick McNook. I'm now in the anxiety corner. Like, oh no, have I
The
overhyped
anxiety
this?
addict.
Yeah, exactly. The anxiety addict. Oh god, have I? I'm just like it's like that anime trope where like the person's in a corner and it's like suddenly like tinted blue, like kind of dark blue, and like there's like wavy lines like vertically over them
Yeah,
as they're like filled with like depression and anxiety. I was like, oh no.
it'd be
Well,
fine.
Here's hoping that the saga of Joey Fucknuts lives up to the hype. Otherwise, it's gonna be a very sad April.
Let's hope not.
Yes.
So
So
we're here to have fun. That's why we're reading a story called Joey Fucknuts next week.
yes. All right. Well, that has been this week's episode. If you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment. Well, if you didn't, fuck off.
Oh, snap. Oh, that's hard.
I kid. But yeah, leave us a comment in the comment section below where this gets posted, whether it be on Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, Podbean, wherever your podcasting streaming platform is. If they have like a rating and review thing, let us know how we're doing, especially after that insult.
Yeah. We're getting some negatives now.
Yeah. Do it. I'm here. Kill me, Dylan. I hope we get a Dylan just comment.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, you can send us messages on Twitter. We're all on Twitter. Mikey's at the E stands for evil. The Gamer in Yellow is at the Gamer in Yellow, but without the W because his name is very long.
It's gotta be.
Yes.
No choice.
And I'm at Review Cultist. So send your hate mail to me, I guess, or send your hate messages to me, I suppose. Please don't. Please don't.
There's no tease.
Yeah. Joking. And you can also send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. Where you can also leave us suggestions for other creepypastas, SCPs, SCP-affiliated stories, cryptids, creepy stuff online in the horror genre, not like, creepy stuff like stalker shit.
Not
I
like
don't want to get
skeevy.
stalked. Yeah, I don't want to get stalked. But yeah, let us know. We'll add it to our lists. We'll talk about them. We'll discuss them. We'll review them. If you want to help support the show financially, you can go to Patreon, look for Al Dente Rigor Mortis, and select the backer tier you'd like to support us at. We have $2 and $5 tier with special episodes, early access, extra content. For our patrons that are helping support the show, thank you immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay. And I say this every time, but we very much appreciate it. Like from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you.
Do you have a heart, Mikey?
Yet to be seen.
I mean,
Cool.
it's a giant black hole at the center of the galaxy.
Mhm. But that is his heart, so it still counts.
Yes.
Technically,
Yeah,
his heart
it's
is way
just
bigger than our hearts.
Yeah, because it's absorbing everything else into it slowly and crushing it into the size of a marble. But yeah, to our listeners and the authors of these entries and stories, thank you immensely, because without your listenership, we wouldn't have much of a show to speak of, because it'd be like talking into the void. We'd just be doing the solo. And without your authorship, we really wouldn't have much of a show, because we wouldn't have any content. We would not be graced with such amazing things to read and discuss, as Joey Fucknuts and Who Was Phone.
Of course, yes.
But yes, thank you immensely, all of you out there in internet land listening to us. It really means a lot. That has been this week's episode. Until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
This has been Al Dente Rigor Mortis. Sleep well.